There's a strange kind of pride hidden in pain, the pride of wanting to save everyone. It wears the face of kindness, of purpose, of meaning. But behind it often hides a quiet desperation, the fear of being useless, the need to matter, the illusion that the world's chaos can be healed through our will alone. That is the seed of what many call the Messiah complex, the compulsion to rescue, to fix, to carry burdens that were never ours to bear. It is noble in appearance, intoxicating in purpose, but it quietly destroys the one who holds it. The world has always celebrated saviors. From myths to movies, we are raised on the idea that to be great is to be the one who saves. We want to be the person who brings peace to the family, who reforms a broken partner, who lifts a friend from despair, who carries society toward light. It's an instinct born of empathy and ego intertwined, and it's the same instinct that leads so many into emotional exhaustion, resentment, and disillusionment. The Messiah complex is not merely about helping others. Helping is human, essential, beautiful. The problem begins when helping becomes an identity, when one's sense of worth depends on being needed. The Savior cannot rest because to rest would mean to face themselves. They are addicted to purpose, terrified of stillness. They don't rescue because they must. They rescue because they don't know who they are if they stop. This is why many people who live in the role of the Savior often find themselves surrounded by chaos. They attract those who need saving, consciously or not. The more they help, the more they are needed. It becomes a cycle. The rescuer's sense of importance feeds on the suffering of others, even when their conscious mind wants to end it. They confuse codependence for compassion. They mistake exhaustion for devotion. And when the people they try to save don't transform, when they relapse, resist, or turn on them, they feel betrayed. They wonder why their love wasn't enough, why their effort failed. But that's the trap. They thought it was about them. They thought their strength could rewrite another's will. They forgot that growth is not a gift we can give. It is a choice each soul must make on its own. In relationships, the Messiah complex takes many forms. It's the partner who believes they can fix the other's trauma through love. It's the friend who sacrifices every boundary to keep others from falling apart. It's the parent who cannot let their grown children fail. The leader who takes on every burden to prove their worth. And it's the quiet martyr, smiling through fatigue, believing suffering is proof of goodness. But what makes it dangerous is not only what it does to the Savior, it's what it does to the saved. When you rescue someone too often, you teach them helplessness. You rob them of struggle, which is the furnace of strength. You become their crutch, and they forget they can walk. And when you finally collapse under the weight of it all, they stumble, not because life is cruel, but because they were never allowed to stand on their own. Real compassion is not control. It's not fixing. It's not ensuring outcomes. Real compassion is witnessing another's pain without trying to own it. It is helping when asked, guiding when invited, but allowing the other person's journey to unfold in its own imperfect rhythm. The Messiah complex resists this. It says, if I don't do it, no one will. It assumes the world will fall apart without its intervention. But life has a strange way of healing itself when we step out of the way. At its core, the Messiah complex is a form of arrogance disguised as virtue. It assumes omniscience, believing we know what is best for others, believing we understand the architecture of their suffering better than they do. It also assumes omnipotence, believing we have the power to rewrite fate. But even love cannot override another's will. Even light cannot enter a heart that is not ready to see. This realization often comes with heartbreak, because the one who lives to save will eventually burn out. They will discover that not everyone wants to be saved. Some want to be seen, not fixed. Some want to walk their own crooked path, fall, and rise again. And when that truth sinks in, the Savior feels abandoned, not by others, but by their own illusion of purpose. Yet there is redemption in that disillusionment. It is the beginning of humility. It's the point where you stop seeing yourself as the center of other people's healing and start seeing yourself as a participant in a much larger flow. You realize that helping others does not require losing yourself, that empathy does not demand martyrdom, that love, when pure, gives without the need to control outcomes. Still, letting go of the savior identity feels like death. Who are you if not the one who fixes? Who are you if no one needs you? These questions haunt the mind that has equated usefulness with love. But on the other side of that fear is freedom. The freedom to simply be, to exist without the burden of being everyone's solution. The irony is that when you stop trying to save everyone, your love becomes more powerful. Because it is no longer rooted in fear or ego, it becomes spacious, patient, real. You stop demanding that others change to ease your discomfort. You learn to stand beside suffering without drowning in it. And sometimes in that stillness, transformation happens, not because you forced it, but because you made room for it. The Messiah complex thrives in guilt. You feel guilty for saying no, guilty for resting, guilty for setting boundaries. It whispers that self-care is selfish, that burnout is noble. But guilt is not morality. It is manipulation turned inward. True goodness does not require the destruction of the self. Even the most selfless acts lose their virtue when they stem from compulsion rather than choice. Modern life feeds this complex. Social media glorifies impact. We are told that if we're not changing the world, we're not enough. We measure our worth by how much we give, how much we do, how many we inspire. But there is a difference between influence and interference. The world does not need another hero. It needs presence, empathy, and awareness. And sometimes the most radical act of service is to tend to your own wounds, because unhealed saviors do not heal. They replicate their pain through others. A rescuer who has not faced their own darkness will always seek it in others to feel useful. That's why so many people end up in cycles of saving and resenting, loving and breaking, helping and losing themselves. Healing that begins within is the only kind that radiates without distortion. It's also important to recognize that not all saving is conscious. Many people inherit this role early in life. The eldest child in a dysfunctional family who learns to parent their siblings, the sensitive child who becomes the emotional anchor for wounded parents, the overachiever who learns that love must be earned through usefulness. These patterns create adults who equate being needed with being loved. And until they see that clearly, they will keep reenacting the same script in every relationship.
Breaking free from the Messiah complex doesn't mean becoming indifferent. It means transforming your understanding of responsibility. You are responsible to others, not for them. You can offer wisdom, not control. You can give love, not dependency. You can hold space, not solutions. This distinction is what separates compassion from codependence, empathy from exhaustion, and love from saviorhood. At some point, everyone who has carried this burden comes to a breaking moment, the collapse of the illusion that their sacrifices will fix everything. That moment hurts. It feels like betrayal, like meaning itself is slipping away. But it is also the beginning of peace. Because only when you stop trying to be God in other people's lives can you meet the real God in your own. The greatest paradox is that by releasing the need to save others, you finally begin to help them. Because now your energy is clean. It is not manipulative, not anxious, not performative. It gives others permission to rise by themselves. You are no longer rescuing. You are witnessing, empowering, allowing. And that is the kind of love that truly heals. When we stop trying to be the Messiah, we become more human. And that's all the world ever needed. We learn that being human is not about saving everyone. It's about understanding, connecting, being present in the brief window of time we have. It's about holding someone's hand without carrying their cross. So if you find yourself always fixing, always saving, always drained, pause. Ask yourself who you would be if you didn't have to be the savior. Would you feel empty, or would you finally feel free? The answer will tell you where your healing begins. Because the truth is, the world does not need more saviors. It needs more people who are whole. People who can love without losing themselves. People who understand that the only person they were ever meant to save was the one they see in the mirror. And when that person finally finds peace, their quiet presence will heal far more than all their frantic saving ever could.